What would you do if your family expected you to drop everything on a major holiday just to babysit, leaving you no time for yourself? Well, that's exactly what Rachel was faced with when her family demanded her presence on Thanksgiving. But instead of giving in, she made a choice that would change everything. Was she being selfish, or did she have every right to stand her ground? Stick around to find out and decide for yourself.
Hey everyone, I'm Rachel, and I'm 26 years old. I know this is probably going to sound ridiculous to some of you, but I really need advice, and this situation is just getting out of hand, so Thanksgiving is supposed to be a time to spend with family, right? Well, here's where it gets complicated. I'm the oldest of 3 siblings, and I have a pretty large extended family. Every year, we all gather at my parents' house to celebrate, and it's always been one of those chaotic, loud, but also kind of fun family events. But this year, things were different. For the first time in forever, I was actually looking forward to doing something different. A couple of months ago, my friend group and I decided to have our own Friendsgiving. We're all busy with work and our lives, so we rarely get the chance to hang out without interruptions. We planned it months ago, way before Thanksgiving plans with my family were even brought up. At the time, I thought it would be a great way to unwind and actually enjoy a holiday without all the drama that usually comes with family events. No endless comments about my career, no questions about my love life, and definitely no drama about whether I'm settling down or not. It was just supposed to be fun. But then, 2 weeks before Thanksgiving, my mom calls me. She says that she's really counting on me to come help babysit my niece and nephew this year. Apparently, my sister and her husband were going to be going out of town, and my mom thought it would be nice if I stayed behind to help with the kids since they're both under 5. First, I tried to explain that I already had plans with my friends. I was really looking forward to it, and I hadn't spent quality time with them in ages. My mom was not having it. She got really upset, accusing me of not caring about family and making Thanksgiving all about me. She said I was being selfish and that my nieces and nephews needed me more than my friends did. She also pointed out that since I wasn't married or starting my own family, I didn't really have any real obligations. Of course, hearing that made me feel pretty bad, but I still wasn't sure I could cancel on my friends. Thanksgiving had become a stressful occasion in the past because of the constant pressure and expectations my family placed on me. I really thought this Friendsgiving would be the perfect way to break free from that and just have a peaceful day for once, so I did something I'm still not sure was right. I told my mom that I wasn't going to babysit. I said I couldn't cancel on my friends and that I needed this time for myself. I thought she would be disappointed, but I didn't expect the blow-up that followed. The guilt tripping started right away. My mom started calling me selfish and told me I was ruining Thanksgiving for everyone. Then, she spread the word to the rest of the family, who all started texting me and saying I was being unreasonable. My aunt, who I'm not particularly close to, even told me that I would regret not spending Thanksgiving with my family when I got older. And when my dad got involved, he basically said I had no excuses for not stepping up. The worst part is that now, I feel like the entire family is putting me in a position where I'm the villain. My friends are mad at me too, saying I should have just gone to my family's place and skipped the babysitting. But my friends are supportive. They understand why I want to take a break. The problem is that now it's like everyone's against me, and I don't know what to do. I feel torn between sticking to my plans with my friends and being there for my family, but it doesn't feel fair that every time I choose my own happiness, I'm made out to be the bad guy. I never even thought babysitting for one day on Thanksgiving would turn into something so dramatic. So, after I told my mom and the rest of the family that I wouldn't be babysitting, things went downhill fast. The texts and calls didn't stop coming. My mom tried calling me several more times, and when I didn't pick up, she sent me this long message about how disappointed she was in me and how much she'd been counting on me. She even brought up all the times she'd helped me out in the past, throwing everything I'd ever done for myself into the mix, making me feel like I owed her something in return. But what really stung was when my little brother, Josh, texted me saying, "You're really choosing your friends over family? You should be ashamed." That hit me harder than anything else, because Josh and I have always been pretty close. He's 22, and we've shared a lot over the years, so I never thought he'd side with the rest of the family so easily. Still, I stood my ground. I was honestly feeling suffocated by all the guilt they were trying to pile on me, and I really just wanted to enjoy a peaceful Thanksgiving for once. I ignored their texts and focused on getting ready for Friendsgiving. The night before Thanksgiving, Everything seemed like it was going according to plan. My friends and I were going to cook together, drink wine, and just have a good time without all the family chaos. Then, the morning of Thanksgiving arrived. I was finishing up some last-minute preparations when I got another call from my mom. This time, she was in full meltdown mode, crying about how hard it would be to look after the kids alone. She said she couldn't manage them both and keep up with the holiday cooking and everything else. She was begging me to reconsider and come over just for a few hours. I'll admit, I was starting to feel guilty, but I stuck to my decision. I told her I had already committed to something and I couldn't just bail now. But then, something happened that I wasn't expecting. My dad got on the phone, and he never gets involved in these kinds of things. He told me straight up, if you don't come, don't bother showing up to Christmas. I was floored. My dad never used guilt like that before, and it really hit me hard. Christmas has always been a huge deal in our family, and the idea that he'd cut me off over one Thanksgiving was, well, it didn't feel real. My head was spinning. I really didn't want to be the cause of a family rift over something like this, but at the same time, I couldn't back down. I had been looking forward to Friendsgiving for so long, and I didn't want to cancel on my friends either. So I stuck to my guns and went to my friend's house. Thanksgiving was happening without me at my parents' place, but it was happening with my people at Friendsgiving, and that felt like enough. But then came the fallout. My mom stopped texting me altogether. My dad sent me a cold, Happy Thanksgiving message at 2 p.m. without any warmth behind it. And Josh, well, Josh just sent me a message with a thumbs up emoji and a short, enjoy your day, which just felt so distant. I had a great time at Friendsgiving, but now I'm sitting here wondering if I made the right call. My family's all upset, and I feel like I've ruined something that should have been simple. But now, the worst part is still looming. What if they really cut me off from Christmas? Is it worth risking that to have my own holiday the way I want it? I keep thinking I'll cave in and apologize, but a part of me doesn't want to be the one who always has to sacrifice my own plans just to keep the peace. A few days passed, and I was still in a bit of a daze about everything. My family hadn't contacted me much since Thanksgiving, and I was starting to wonder if I really had made a huge mistake. Maybe I should have just gone to my mom's house for a few hours. The more I thought about it, the more it felt like I had burned bridges. I even considered texting my mom and dad to apologize, but I was still so upset by the way they had treated me. Then, out of nowhere, my sister, Sarah, reached out to me. I hadn't heard from her in days, and to be honest, I wasn't sure what side she'd be on. She's always been the peacemaker in the family. When I saw her name pop up on my phone, I hesitated before opening the message. It was a short text, but the words hit hard. Mom is really hurt. You can't just keep avoiding this. You need to talk to her. It's not just about Thanksgiving. It's about the family. That hit me like a ton of bricks. I wasn't just the bad guy in this situation. Now I was the one who was avoiding everything and everyone. I knew Sarah was trying to be helpful, but it just felt like more pressure. I wasn't avoiding anyone. I was just trying to have a life for once. Still, I knew the next step had to be talking to them, but I couldn't figure out how to make it right without feeling like I was giving in. I didn't want to apologize just because it was easier. But then, something unexpected happened. One of my aunts, Aunt Linda, reached out to me next. Aunt Linda and I don't talk much, but she had been a steady presence at almost every holiday, and her opinion always felt like it carried weight in the family. She was never the type to sugarcoat things. Her message was short, but it made my stomach turn. It said, Rachel, I know you're a grown-up, but family is always going to be there. You can't turn your back on them, especially when they need you most. That was it. No hugs, no warmth, just a reminder that I had failed in some way. I felt like a kid again, getting scolded for making a bad decision. But then, Aunt Linda dropped something that shook me. She said, you know, this isn't just about Thanksgiving. It's about you not being part of the family anymore. I had no idea what she meant by that. Not being part of the family anymore? That line rattled me. Was she suggesting that if I didn't fall in line now, I'd be excluded from everything else from here on out? Christmas, birthdays, family gatherings? Could my own family really do that? The more I thought about it, the more confused and anxious I felt. I couldn't stop wondering if this was more than just a one-time blow-up. Would my family always hold this over my head? Would they keep throwing it in my face that I wasn't doing my part? And, to be honest, I was still upset that nobody had even tried to understand where I was coming from. It was like all my reasons didn't matter, just the fact that I wasn't there for my mom when she asked. I had tried to explain myself, but it felt like no one was really listening, as much as I hated to admit it. A part of me was wondering if they were right. Should I have just sucked it up and helped out? Was I being selfish to prioritize my own happiness for once? Then, in the middle of all this emotional turmoil, I got a message from Josh. I hadn't heard from him since his cold, "Enjoy your day" text, so I was caught off guard when I saw his name. He wrote, "Look, I get it now. I didn't know how much it was wearing on you, but I think you should still try to reach out to mom. You don't have to be the one to fix everything, but maybe just give her a chance to explain. She's hurt, but I don't think she'll hold this against you forever." I sat there for a minute, staring at the screen. It felt like Josh was trying to be the bridge between me and the rest of the family. But could I just give in after everything? Should I? That night, I went to bed feeling more conflicted than ever. I had a real decision to make, and there was no clear right or wrong answer. I had to think about what mattered most, my peace of mind, or the people I've always called family. The next few days dragged on. I felt trapped in this weird limbo between my friends and my family, constantly battling my own thoughts. I tried to distract myself by focusing on work, but every time my phone buzzed, my heart would race, thinking it might be another message from someone in my family. Then, Mom finally reached out again, but this time, it wasn't a text. She called me. My stomach churned when I saw her name on the screen, and I hesitated before picking up. "Rachel," she said, her voice soft and almost broken. "I've been thinking about everything, and I'm sorry if I made you feel like you had to choose between us and your friends. I guess I was hurt, and I didn't know how to handle it. That caught me off guard. I wasn't expecting her to apologize. After all the guilt trips and messages, I thought she was going to double down on how much I had disappointed her. But hearing her like that, vulnerable and regretful, threw me off balance. She continued, "I know it wasn't fair to put that on you, but it's hard for me to admit when I'm struggling. And I just wanted to have Thanksgiving like we used to, with everyone. But I see now that I was being selfish too. I should have asked for help, instead of just assuming you drop everything." I sat there in stunned silence, feeling like the air had been knocked out of me. Mom wasn't perfect, far from it, but hearing her admit she might have overstepped meant more to me than I realized. It felt like the door to some kind of reconciliation was opening. But before I could speak, she added, "But Rachel, you can't just completely shut us out. We need to be a team, even when it's hard. We've always been a family, and I don't want to lose that." I felt a lump in my throat. I didn't want to lose that either, but I still felt like my needs were being dismissed. Like, no one considered what it would have meant for me to skip my friends for the 10th Thanksgiving in a row. After a long pause, I managed to say, "I don't want to lose that either, Mom, but I need my space too. I need to make my own choices sometimes." There was a long silence, and I thought the conversation might end there. But then she said something that made me freeze. "Do you even want to come to Christmas? Or would you rather skip it too? We're all trying, but I don't know what to do if you just keep pulling away." That hit hard. I had been dreading that question. Was Christmas really at risk? Was I willing to cut ties with my family over one Thanksgiving? I wasn't ready to make any big decisions yet, but the idea of missing out on Christmas, the one holiday that really meant something to me, was gut-wrenching. What if that's what my mom meant by not being part of the family anymore? Would they actually go that far? I told her I needed some time to think. I wasn't ready to give her an answer. That night, I got a message from Josh again. "Mom's asking if you're coming for Christmas. Please think about it. I don't want to lose you over this." I was torn. I didn't want to lose my family, but I also didn't want to lose myself in all their expectations. Could I really find a way to balance both? Was there a way to make everyone happy without losing what I'd fought for? As I lay in bed, staring at the ceiling, I couldn't help but wonder, could my family and I ever be on the same page? Was my decision to stand firm really worth it? Or had I just opened a can of worms I couldn't close? The next day, I couldn't stop thinking about what my mom said. "Do you even want to come to Christmas?" That question echoed in my head over and over again, like it was some kind of test I didn't know how to pass. I never imagined it would get to this point, But here I was, at a crossroads with my family. I was getting messages from Sarah, my mom, and even Josh. Everyone except my dad, who was still as distant as ever. Sarah kept telling me to just come to Christmas, that we'd figure it out, that it would be better for everyone if I just sucked it up and made peace. Josh tried to convince me that I was being too stubborn, that mom and dad were genuinely sorry. But there was a part of me that kept thinking about my own needs. Was I being selfish by standing my ground? I wanted to have a life of my own, where I wasn't constantly bending to my family's demands. And yet, I didn't want to lose everything that made family holidays feel special. Was I really willing to sacrifice that for my own independence? At the same time, I kept thinking about Friendsgiving. I hadn't had a Thanksgiving like that in years. We had laughed, cooked, and just hung out like we didn't have a care in the world. It had felt like a breath of fresh air, and I hadn't realized how badly I needed it. My friends had been supportive when I told them about the family drama, but I couldn't help feeling guilty. Maybe they didn't realize how heavy this was for me. Then, the unexpected happened. My dad called. I wasn't sure what to expect from him after everything, but when I picked up, he surprised me. "I know you're upset, Rachel," he said, sounding tired but not angry. "I haven't been the best at handling things, but I want you to know that no one's asking you to give up your life for us. We want you here with us. And if we can't make it work, that's on us. But we still want you to be a part of it all." I was stunned. This was the first time in days that anyone had spoken to me without guilt or anger in their voice. There was no, "If you don't come to Christmas, you're out," just a quiet plea for me to consider it. I could hear the vulnerability in his tone, and for a second, it felt like he was truly trying to meet me halfway. But still, I didn't know how to respond. Was I ready to go back to the family routine? Was I really willing to show up at Christmas, even after everything that had happened? Then, just as I was about to text my mom and give her some kind of answer, Aunt Linda messaged me again. Her message was blunt, as usual. "You know, Rachel, this isn't just about Thanksgiving or Christmas. It's about how you treat your family over time. You can't keep pulling away and expect everything to stay the same." I froze. I didn't know how to process that. Was she implying that if I didn't make things right now, I'd be on the outside forever? Was my relationship with my family really in jeopardy because of one bad Thanksgiving? My phone buzzed again. It was Josh. "You don't get it, do you? They're all trying, but you're the one keeping your distance. At some point, we all need to come together. Please, don't let this ruin everything." I stared at his message, wondering if I was being unreasonable. Was I truly the one to blame for everything? My mind was racing as I thought about how much my family meant to me, but at the same time, how much I needed to preserve the life I had carved out for myself. I was this close to sending a message to my mom saying I'd come to Christmas. But then, my phone rang again. This time, it was Sarah. "I'm really sorry to bother you again," she said, her voice softer than before. "But I just wanted to say, we all miss you. I miss you. And it's not the same without you. But if you want to do your own thing, I'll respect that too. Just think about it. Please." I took a deep breath, trying to clear my head, but nothing felt clear. The weight of their expectations, combined with my own desire for independence, felt like too much to carry all at once. Was I really about to ruin Christmas for myself and for them? I spent the next couple of hours in a haze, messages flooding my phone and my mind spinning in circles. Part of me wanted to go and just get it over with, make everyone happy, and pretend like everything was fine. But another part of me was rebelling, screaming that I shouldn't have to sacrifice my freedom just to keep the peace. At some point, I stopped looking at my phone. I needed to think, really think, without any outside pressure. I went for a walk, hoping the crisp autumn air would clear my head. But as I walked, all I could think about was how torn I felt. What really got to me was how my family seemed to think that everything could go back to normal, like I could just walk into their house and everything would be fine. They'd go on with their usual holiday traditions, and I'd be expected to just fit in, like the last few years of tension and frustration never happened. Could I do that? Could I let go of all the years of feeling like my needs didn't matter? I wasn't sure. By the time I got home, the sun was setting. I walked back inside and sat down on my couch, my mind still clouded. Then, out of nowhere, I got a message from Mom. "Rachel, I know this isn't easy, but I really hope you'll be there for Christmas. I can't promise everything will be perfect, but I want to try again. For you. For us. I don't want to lose you.